want to talk about today is Red Cross has actually seeked for 2.5 billion naira to tackle food insecurity. I'm going to read the synopsis first. The Nigerian Red Cross Society, with support from the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, have launched an emergency appeal to assist the more vulnerable individuals across Nigeria over the next 18th. The appeal aims to raise 2.5 billion naira, focusing on enhancing livelihoods, health, nutrition, and wash, which is water, sanitation, and hygiene services in the affected regions. This was disclosed in a statement on Monday, signed by the NRCS Coordinator of Communication and Advocacy, Chima Lanko. To avert this scenario, the NRCS announced that it would host its first ever annual fundraising gala night in Lagos, which is going to be themed "Keeping Humanity Alive," aimed at raising funds to support the hunger crisis appeal. And the WASH, of course, like I said, the WASH is the water, sanitation, and hygiene, the WASH program across Nigeria. This is a good deed, but I don't know. I have a question behind it. This is a good thing, but fundraising. How are they actually going to raise funds that much? Are they trying to talk to the federal government, or they're looking for private individuals to actually sponsor these things? Or yes, I know fundraising we can get that much, but we're talking about billions right here, and we're trying to elevate poverty. So how do you think we can go about this?
Well, yeah, for a start, let's appreciate what the Red Cross are doing. It's a laudable project. It's amazing. Also, we should appreciate them for that. And then when it comes to fundraising, if you have a way around it, it's very beautiful. If the cost is right, and you have a reputation of integrity, you're genuine and a break of the deal. I think they can raise the money. There are individuals, there are corporations, organizations will come on board, and then you'll get that done. But beyond that, beyond the good work the Red Cross are doing, what pains me to my marrow is how we get to this point that Nigeria has not become a place that is to feed Nigerians. How do we get this alarming point? That for me is very, very disturbing. Because oftentimes Nigerian story has been like this case of a guy that killed his father and his mother, and I went crying that he wants pity because he's an orphan. I mean, you murdered your parents, and now you're crying that
you're an orphan.
I mean, the problem with Nigeria. What happened to Nigeria before the discovery of oil? We used to have abundance of oil, cocoa, granite. Agriculture was big thing,
It was a big deal.
I mean, how did we lose all of that
and focus just on oil?
And then we're now at this point that we're literally begging to feed. As we speak today, Nigerians, over 70% of Nigerians are under the poverty line, can't feed. We're crying a bit power every now and then. We are groaning under hunger. How do we get to this point? 1976, Obasanjo launched Operation Feed the Nation. A lot of money from then till now. Billions and billions have gone into agriculture. Where is the result? So much has gone into it. So I mean, we have the land, we have the we have the land space, we have everything. What is wrong with us? It's a big problem. I mean, how do they do it? We blend ourselves to our potentials, to our energy, to things that will naturally bring in so much, and they will not cry lack. How do we do that? I can't figure it out. I mean, if the managers of the nation, both politically and economically, are serious, we shouldn't be in this zone. We shouldn't be here. We should not be on the table of begging to feed. It's alarming. It really is disturbing. It is disturbing. I mean, I just can't get my head off it. How we got to this point? I mean, with all of the money investors has gone into it, they easily divert it, corruption everywhere. I still can't find the answer. How we got to this point with what we have. So in the early 2000s, an Israeli company came to Nigeria and did a survey on our farming potential and said that one state in Nigeria can feed the entire nation over. Just one state. Look at what Benue is known to be the basket of the nation. Benue alone can feed the nation. The north, of course, yes, we've had challenges like insecurity. We have lack of storage capacity to do that and all of that. We've not been so encouraging. But the thing is, those that are there. We all can't be in power. We all can't be doing what they are doing. We all can't be managing the nation. But those that are there, what are they doing to ensure the right things are done so that we don't lack this? I mean, it's annoying, like having so much of crude oil and then lacking refined.
Yeah.
It's out of place. It is out of place.
Imagine having to raise billions of naira just to feed Nigerians. Yeah, because if we're like, I can't really remember the number we are in the world for the most impoverished country, but I think we've gone, very at a point. So I don't know what is going on, but I think it's something the federal government needs to really look at. We've always said this on this program. They need to do something. The people are getting hungry by the seconds. There is no middle class anymore. We only have the richer or we have the poor. And it's so sad because, the more we talk about it, it's as good as saying the only thing the only thing the federal government tend to do is palliatives. And to be honest, these palliatives don't get to even the people that really makes it.
They even lose the palliative.
That's what I'm saying. Then the people that really need these palliatives, they don't even get it. Do you understand? So that is why the poor will always keep getting poorer, and the rich will keep getting richer.
In fact, it's not just a Nigerian nemesis. It's an African thing. An African thing, because even right now we speak, Ukraine is under the bombardment of the Russian war, and as we speak, the whole of Africa is still depending on Ukraine for wheat. Ukraine is under intense war and still supplying Africa with. I mean, look at the size of Ukraine compared to the whole of Africa. And then Ukraine under war.
And yet they are still producing.
Wait for Africa to survive. It's an insult. We make it look like the black skin is an insult. And that's not true. But just a problem of our managers just deliberately act in this manner, I believe, because it's because that's the only way you might want to call it some conspiracy theory, but the truth is this: they intentionally make the continent this way so that those at the top want to look up to them, and also they can perpetrate themselves in power and just do as they like, because there is no way to explain these things. There is no way to.
There's no explanation to it, actually. No matter how much you want to try explaining, a lot of people will not understand why it is like that. I don't know if we have Dr. Andrew joining us via Zoom. If we have Dr. Andrew ready, please can we bring him on via the Zoom, please? Okay, seems like Dr. Andrew is not kidding yet. Okay, I'm just going to continue with what we have. Now, I saw a trending video about a bad bridge. There's nothing to explain. I just want to talk about this bridge because it's so sad. And what is most scary is the fact that despite how bad this bridge is, motorists were still like that. Like, okay, in the comment section, I could see some person saying that yes, when they had to pass that bridge, that he has never prayed the way he prayed in his life, that please, I don't want to meet death today. Let me just pass and go through. So let's quickly watch this video, and of course we'll be right back.
Gbogbo ẹni tó wá rí fídíò yìí kó bá sí ẹ̀ pé kó dọ́dọ̀ àwọn gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì abájú kó olókolówó tán tá à ń lọ sí ọ̀nà alápá ẹ wo ọ̀nà yìí ọ̀lẹ́ ọ̀nà yìí ti worst gan à ń bẹ̀jọba Kwara kí wọ́n dá òtún ìtọ́lọ́wọ́ bá ẹ̀mí àwọn ẹ wo máa yẹ ẹ wo onítúni ṣe o mọ́tò kankan ti fẹ́ lájẹ́ níbí nísìnyí látara pé kò síbi tí wọ́n ń gbà fa kí wọ́n dá òtún ìtọ́lọ́wọ́ bá ẹ wá wo bí kíní ṣe jìn tó Ọlọ́run kó má ṣẹ̀mí wa lófo gbogbo nǹkan ìbẹ̀lẹ̀ pé yóò ṣẹlẹ̀ tí mo máa ronú pé bóyá àmú Ọlọ́run ni kí alẹ́sìnẹ́sì sí ni ẹ dákun abẹjọba Kwara fa kí wọ́n dákun gbogbo ẹni tó bá rí àgọ́ bá ṣí ẹ̀rẹ̀ kó fi dọ́dọ̀ gómìnà gangan kí ni yóò dáná ti wá ń bí láti 5 days ago kò sí nǹkan tí wọ́n ṣe lórí ẹ dákun sọ pásítẹ̀ntì kan máa ṣe tó bá lágbára sí gbogbo yóò wá bíbí sọ́lọ̀ ló wá fà yí àbí àmúwọ́ ara wa gangan ẹ dákun abẹjọba Kwara tó tọ́ lọ́wọ́ bá kí wọ́n wá kí wọ́n tó yọ̀ sí síbi tó lọ́wọ́ bá Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kó bàjẹ́ ìlú gbọ́dọ̀ ìdílé bàjẹ́.
So sad. Okay, I'm just going to read some of the comments on that very poor under the video comment section. So I'm just going to read some of them. That was how I got to know exactly where the road actually is. Okay, one said, I know this road. It is Ilorin to. Okay, we have Andrew. Andrew, I'll be calling you in very soon. It's from Ilorin to Igboho, and another said this is in Kwara State, Ilorin. Actually, another says, bro, I know this road like since I was small. I left Kwara State since I was 13 years, almost 13 years ago, and still now is even worse than it was bad before. But after 13 years, he's surprised that that road is still the same thing. Yes. The one that got me off was the one that said, I've not even watched the video, but I know that is my state, Kwara State, because the bush looks very familiar. So, you know when you know them by their tentacles, is that bad?
You see, the case with what we have with Nigerians today is like someone that has been abandoned in the desert for so long. There's something they suffer. If you are left abandoned in the desert for so long, you suffer mirage. At that point, you see what you desire, but it's not real.
Yeah.
You think it's there. You go for it, but it's not there because you've been so bastardized, so drained, and all of them. So Nigerians have been so impoverished by design. Nigeria has been so abandoned to this state of lack and poverty, so much that the drop that now comes around, we see like a miracle. You know? So how do you explain this thing? That okay, look at the comments. That for 13 years ago,
yes.
And it's still like that till now, and yet there are budgetary allocation into that direction and all of that, but somehow people just don't get to work, and it's actually because there is no consequence for bad behavior in public office. So you're not like, how do we? I mean, what is our problem? There are people representing that area in the National Assembly or in the State Assembly, depending on where the road falls in. But it's more like a state road.
Yes.
Okay, but the problem now is, why are some people not taking the responsibility to act? And the funniest thing is this: Nigerians flying that road, they know it's dangerous.
Of course.
But Nigerians have come to a point that is unknown, unconsciously, we no longer put prime attention on our lives, because our daily life is survival of the fittest. So we've gotten used psychologically to a risk path. So we're no longer afraid. The Nigerian can walk into death and say, now you be dead. You're not even past this. You understand? Because we see horror every day. Basic needs of life is like going through hell. So our skin has been toughened. We are used to it. So if government does not close on that road, if people die there today, tomorrow other people are still going to apply that road. We no longer sink in. Psychologically, we have been beaten and defeated so much that we see it as just normal. We see it as norm. Many people from the West, at the sight of seeing things like this, they will pass out. They will just pass out. But it's a daily routine with us. You understand? So that's why again we see, this is risk of still apply that road. Because psychologically we've been so damaged that risk is normal.
It's normal. In fact, I'm just going to say thank God so much for social media, because a lot of these things we might not be able to account for, because when we see things like this is why we bring it on shows like this, so that we can actually, speak to the hearings of the federal government, the states, the local government. There is a local government there, definitely. That is also a state, and of course the federal government cannot probably reach to there. Yeah. But I think when the local government do the proper thing, do their findings, and make sure they talk to the right authorities, that road should actually be made right. It's so scary.
Yeah. With the new structure of a local government autonomy we have now, now the people of that area should have the courage and the guts to mobilize themselves and reach out to local government. But right now, with the new local government structure, that they get allocation directly from the
yes,
none are
passing the state anymore.
So when they have such, okay, now how would they explain not being able to fix that? So what they would need to do is they need to be strong in terms of mobilization of demanding better governance, grassroots development. That's the essence of local government. You understand? So now the government are going to have enough money to do stuff. So the people should, like I said, have the courage to mobilize themselves and then reach out to the local authorities to get that done. Because it's not befitting for human. It's not befitting for human.
It's very scary.
Walking around local government, standing them to their toes and ensuring that they do what they're supposed to do. Because my fear is that if that is not done, local government will just easily abuse the office, and then more money make more money to steal. But no, that's not the essence of you being in power. It is about being responsible, about being accountable, about being transparent. So the people should take the fight to the gates of the government. Like I said to some people, it's a bit tasky get to the federal government, state government, because you might just lose the steam. It's just right there. So you mobilize yourself and go do it. drag the chairman of the council to come see for himself. So if he's not doing it now, and the next circle of budget, whatever, why he should factor?
That's right. Yeah.
If the cry is loud, they must come in. We have to pin them to a point whereby service delivery become compelling.
It becomes important and very necessary. Yes.
You understand? So they get to do things like this. That is why you are empowering office to ensure things like this does not exist, and then the ones that are existing, clean them up. So the people should do the needful.
They need to do the needful
themselves and then hit.
Yeah, I understand a lot of people will be saying they can't do everything, but you see, when you see something like this, it's something that needs to be attended to. We have Andrew. Dr. Andrew is definitely on Zoom joining us. So I just want you to react. First of all, you react to the Red Cross that's seeking 2.5 billion naira to tackle food insecurity, and in this way they're trying to do a fundraising event to be able to tackle food insecurity. And at the same time, you can react to the Bad Bridge, the video which we just watched recently. Thank you. Oh, Andrew, I can barely hear you. The audio is quite very low. Andrew, just hold on a little bit. Maybe the technical department would attend to that while we'll continue with the program. Okay, let's talk about President Tinubu has actually ordered a crackdown on cyber criminals and car thieves. And I said this just yesterday. When I said this is a good thing. So I'm just going to read a little bit. President Bola Tinubu has ordered security and law enforcement agencies to intensify their crackdown on cyber criminals and transnational car theft rings operating in the country. He directed agencies including the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), the Nigeria Customs Service (NCS), Nigerian Police Force (NPF), and Nigerian Port Authorities (NPA) to target individuals involved in the possession and trafficking of stolen vehicles. The President, in a statement issued by Bayo Onanuga, special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, emphasized that depriving criminals of the proceeds from their illicit activities is a powerful tool in combating organized crime. He commended the FCC for returning 53 vehicles and $180,300 to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police on behalf of 2 Canadian victims of cybercrime involving Nigerian nationals, expressing concern over transnational crime groups exporting stolen vehicles to Nigeria. President lauded the collaboration between Nigerian authorities and international partners in addressing the issue. He also stressed the importance of preserving seized assets for the benefit of the state, victims, and society in line with legal frameworks and global conventions. The President reaffirmed Nigerians' commitment to combating cybercrime, money laundering, and other financial crimes, stating that the country would not be a destination for stolen vehicles and illicit wealth. Okay, now that brings us to the point that do they actually really because now what I'm actually thinking is the fact that it's because this has to do with a Canadian personnel, that was why there was a commendation. So because I know of a lot of people who have been kidnapped, their cars were stolen, and sometimes you end up not getting these cars. So he's saying this, I feel like it's just coming from a place of, because there's an international partner and all of that. But this is a good deed. It's a good thing to say this and to work towards it. But what's your reaction to that?
Okay, let's backtrack a bit. This is an old crime. Way back in the 90s, they are fully aware of what Nigerians abroad. What they do is this. Now, sometimes there's this theft of identity. Now, because how they get it, they just kind of steal identity. So they go to rent cars or something like that. They have that system in abroad. So they rent the car. The next thing they are shipping it home. right? So they beat the port authority, where corruption reigns, anything that pass through. So they just ship it home, and that's how they do it. So you find that somebody lives in Europe, and before you know it, within a year, he has shipped down 4 or 5 some cards. That's what they do, and then they just do that for it. It has been an old illegal act running and all of that. Okay, fine. And then accidentally, Nigeria have not been able to respond to that because the NPA just sliding. Of course, normally if it was brought there, there's a way, there's a documentation that will show that estimate, all of that. And oftentimes there's no such documentation. So what you need to do is just bribe your way through the NPA, and your card is okay, fine. So, but now, so what we're seeing now is a deliberate official attempt to stop that, to curb it. And then now that they see that they're we're having some sensitization, some kind of maybe better officers, and now, okay, fine, they can trace the ones that came in through that illegal means and all of that, to track them down and all of that. Okay, that's what is probably happening. Now, but it's an old trick that I've been running, and then, okay, Nigeria now understand. And the bad thing is this, that gives us bad image abroad, because Nigerians are known for certain crimes. You understand? When some crimes are, so when you want to see a Nigerian, there's some business that I want to deal with you.
Yeah.
But Nigerians are known, some crimes are like more or less peculiar to Nigerians. So of course it's a bad image for us. So it's about the Nigerians started working on laundering abroad and all of that. So that now makes some of our security agencies start, collaborating with foreign bodies and all of that. So to ensure that we cleanse our image of that. So because Nigeria is a destination for such things, So they too are interested in getting their stores back. They're also interested in that partnership and all of that. So it's a good thing that we're opening up to such, and then that will discourage such acts, all of that.
It becomes a very minimal.
So it's a good thing that government are intentional about this, so that they stop, because a good name is like
better than silver.
Because the truth is, what happens to us? I remember when I was going to South Africa sometimes. I think one of my top trip or thereabout, I was separated at the airport, and I was, they had to search me over and over again.
Why would they do that?
Because I was carrying the green passports. Yes, I was carrying the green passports. Now, many Nigerians have suffered this. Sometimes when you go to Europe, they have to almost scan you naked and all of that. Why? Because you're carrying the green passport. So that's what some guys have done to us, to batter our image abroad. So if this is happening now, because the truth is this, if you don't have a market for what you are selling, then why do you want to steal?
Why do you want to steal, right?
Okay, but if there's a ready market for it, then that means it's a viable market space. It's a growing marketplace on its own. So if we frustrate the trade in Nigeria, then they have to take a bigger risk, probably shipping elsewhere, and when they don't have that much link, it's more difficult for them. So because the truth is this, if you know that it's going to be much risky, then it will take a lot of people off that. We're responding now that though we can't say it's better now than
that never is actually. It's better we start now. At least in the next 5-10 years, it's something that even before 5 years, I think it's something they should be able to put at a very minimal and be able to control.
That the rate of the Yahoo crime is declining.
Very much so.
I've heard about a lot of Yahoo boys that are now out of job. Because while they were doing Yahoo, they had nothing to fall back to. Yes, so now that Magda is no longer so it's not as easy as it used to be. Now you see them walk about the street, begging for money here and there, and then they talk in line of used to.
I just saw one day. I was walking in Keja, I stopped at the bus stop on the bridge, and one came to meet me. I was pleading. He held his phone. I was talking, was pleading. So I was trying to get a very good view of the phone, and I said I was holding iPhone 12. I don't know if it has a Pro Max, but that looks bigger than the normal iPhone 12. So but you have an iPhone 12. Why are you begging? Why not sell your phone and do something for yourself? You understand? So it's just weird how people just tend to go into things that does not benefit them. Or like somebody will say, if you're doing Yahoo, how come? In fact, how come most of these persons don't actually actually invest their money? Is it because it's more of a stolen money than money they worked for? Because most of them don't invest with it.
Yeah, it's stolen money and money that comes to them with ease, and they expect to keep flowing
that way.
And then there's no discipline, there's no culture. But in the first place, if you are disciplined, you won't go into such danger. Because like I said to people, I can't imagine risking my freedom. You understand? When you have self-respect, you cherish yourself, you cherish your freedom. You wouldn't jump into things that will, that will endanger your safety and your freedom. So for anyone to have concluded to go in that path, it shows that they lack self-respect. It shows they lack discipline. And then when they lack discipline, then whatever they get in that manner, they just think it is to keep coming. So they won't have that discipline to settle down, invest, and do something good with it. Less than 1-2% of them
do invest,
but most of them just live a lavish life. The way it comes, they blow it that way. They see life, and their life is about bubbling and all of that. Just keep like that. But thank God today is clamping them.
Yeah, it is.
They are running out of market.
In fact, there was a day I was trying to withdraw money at a financial institution, and there's a place where they sell cars, and I saw a very young boy. If I'm not mistaken, yes, they look tall, they look, huge, but you can quite guess their age. It can't even be up to 20. It should be probably between 18 to 20. And I saw him came down from a Ferrari, and it was red. And he came down in front of wanted to buy a car. I'm like, there's no how. Like, how would somebody just think of buying this? Okay, you make one huge, a maga, and you're buying a car, and he's bringing his friend to buy a car, something close to what he had. And I was like, why would people just? Anyways, you can't see, like you said, it's not their money, so they really work hard for it. It's just a lifestyle.
They have a distorted mental setting. You understand? So the way it comes, they just live a lavish lifestyle. So that's just how they, it's something in their head. And then you see, you cannot produce what you don't have.
Of course,
what is occupied in their head. That's
what it. Yeah.
Understand? So that's how you show that you are the big boy. All of that. So that's just how. It's a world. It's a mindset.
Yeah.
So once you are in that way, you don't see things from the other angle. You just
see it that way. It's just black and white for you.
Black and white. That's where you need to go.
Okay, I don't know if Dr. Andrew his audio is better now. If Dr. Andrew's audio is better now, please let's key him in, please. Hi, Andrew, can you hear me? My darling.
Alright, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Alright, thank you. So I'm sorry the network has been bad. I had to switch phones. So let me just quickly talk about the first and the second issue that you asked me to comment on. I listened to the whole conversation with the guest, and talked about how low we have gotten as a country, as a people. Then talked about how much the Red Cross wants to invest to fight food insecurity. It's laughable. I see it more like a PR stunt, because 2.5 million naira to fight food inflation, food insecurity in Nigeria. Who are the people you want to target? Definitely not the whole of the country, because if you look at the billions that's been voted into fighting food insecurity from the government, you understand that 2.5 billion won't go anywhere. Maybe they are targeting a particular region in the country, maybe, but definitely not the whole country. And when you ask that, how did we get to this point? How did we get this low? It is very simple. We got lazy. I'm going to say it as it is. We got lazy as a people. We got lazy as a country. After, I don't want to mention any particular government, but there was a particular government that started spending excessively and started spending heavily, and we got carried away with the money that was coming in, and we forgot that a time would come that we would actually drink the Gary. You understand? It's just like the Bible. When you talk about the 7 years of excess, 7 years of plenty, and 7 years of blah blah blah, and 7 years of famine. So I guess we're in a season of famine right now. I've seen this, and I've seen how reckless we got who were just getting free money to run business that they won't run. You understand that? So now we're asking for it. Now I ventured into agro space, and I can tell you for a fact that we've not seen anything. Hunger is still coming full blown. And why did I say that? Our youth are not willing to go to the farm again, not willing to go to agriculture again. Nobody wants to do the dirty job. You know, I see the surprise looks when all these village women see me doing, you know, the dirty job, carrying cassava and all of these things to process. You know, they're always shocked that you say you're educated, but even the youth in our village, the villagers don't even want to do this again. So those in the villages want to do it, the youth don't want to do it. So who wants to do it? We want to use AI to create food. That's not possible. So we are going for the easy life, and you know, easy come, easy goes. The only way is, you know, we have to use AI to print food. If we cannot use AI to print food, then we should prepare for hunger. But I can tell for a fact that because Nigeria is getting more industrialized, we have more companies that are using our raw materials. Let's pick cassava. You know, I've heard this argument that Gary should be the cheapest thing in the country. No, Gary cannot be the cheapest thing. We have farmers that are not even willing to process Gary again. They rather sell to companies that will extract ethanol and all of these chemicals from it. You know, when you have chemical industries dragging, you know, for the same raw materials that we consume, they, you know, that there's not be a problem. So that's that. Then we can say, okay, maybe government has not been supportive, but I understand that government has been, you know, supporting the agro space, you know, giving farmers grants, and some of them will marry 2-3 wives instead of cultivating. Some of them run away from the country, and so that's how we got to where we are. And how we gonna get out of the place, I don't know, because I'm in that space now, and I can tell you for a fact that the little I'm doing will really go a long way to just be like a little drop of water, a little drop in the ocean. So that's that about the food insecurity in the country. It's going to get worse. Just not very sincere, except we have a change of heart and everybody sees the need to actually go back to do the dirty job of farming. You know, and understand that we cannot order everything. I used to make jest of my kid brother that he likes ordering for everything. That if he's allowed, he will order a wife. So because of that space, that's now we also order for everything. We also order for everything. So we don't want to do the dirty job. So that's that. Now for the video I saw, it's sad, you know, that we like, just like you said, we shouldn't put every blame on the federal government. There's a local government there, there's a state government there. What I do doing about it, I would like in that state Ogun State. You know, I think Ogun State is one state also that, you know, when you can leave I've left the country several times. You know, I've lived the country for like 2-3 years, and that I expect that when I get back to the country, I'm going to leave the country in a better place. So I get to Lagos, I see that some things have changed in Lagos. But I get to Ogun State and I see that it's the same way I left it, or worse than where I left it. So it's reflecting the kind of people who vote into power. How credible are they? You know, how do they feel the pulse of the people? Are the people that feel that they are helping us, you know, by doing the job, or the people that feel honored to be serving? You understand? So, like I said, I think this state is just, I actually thought it was Ogun States, but there are no states to that. That is not doing anyway in terms of infrastructure. And I think it's time to hold a local government, local council responsible for these things. It's an eyesore. I'm sure people must have died there, but you know, we have leaders that don't really care what happens to us. So that's that. So I think those are the two things we have to respond to.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, because of our time, I will not be able to take the next topic, but I just want to ask you, you said something which has been ringing in my head. You said, this is the time of our famine, please don't scare us. Because when you say this is the time of famine, you're saying 7 years we are going to be facing this, or probably even more. But you as a farmer, I was actually thinking you're going to be on your famine years. You know, when you're being the farmer, you're making I would have actually loved it. But why did you actually say that you as a farmer, you can, like, you're bold enough to tell us that we should expect the worst because of you are already in that sector right now? Why say that in just 2 minutes, because our time is already up?
Okay, so now let me be quick. Why did I say that? Because I see that nobody wants to do the dirty job. Like I said, Ordinarily, I don't have any business on the farm. I don't have any business in that space. A lecturer, my PhD, I should be in the classroom or in somewhere, writing, doing my research and all of that. But I realized that we've been complaining a lot that there's no food, and I've been doing my research, and I realized that the problem is not that there is no food. The problem is that we have lots of industries now that are dragging these scarce resources, this food, that nobody is actually planting again. Nobody is actually interested in all of these things again. And if nobody, we've not reached that level that we have computers, all of technology doing these jobs. Even where they have technology doing these jobs for them, cultivating all of that, they still have people doing it. I can tell you for a fact that to get people to plow the ground for me is more difficult than getting American visa. I'm just very sincere with you. I have my money. I want to pay people to clear the bush, to help me plow. I have to possibly, pray and fast about it, because they are not interested. They don't want to do it. They want to do either smuggle food or do any other, Yahoo, any other dirty job. They don't want to do the hard jobs again. So now going to that space is draining on me, right? It's a lot of tasking. But I understand that I may not be able to solve all the problems, but I should be able to solve a few. And our product is out. We try to maintain or push the product's prices below what we see in the market. But how many can I do? How many can I? I'm just a lecturer, a teacher that I can only do little. But until all of us start doing this little, you have a space behind your house. Cultivate there, plant something there. Let's produce more food. The problem is the food we are producing is not enough for industries and human consumption, and that's just the simple truth.
Okay, thank you very much. I love what you said. Can you imagine? I can't even call you a farmer. I'm sorry, it will not even work, because I'll still call you a doctor, because I know him way back, and he's even much more than that. But when he told me he's into farming, I was like, why? What are you doing? And he talked about it. I was like, are you not following my channel and all of that? And which is a very good thing. Like you said, a lot of people just want to be in front of a system. They just want to do the 8 to 9 or 8 to 5 jobs. Nobody actually wants to stay in their hands and work.
To complement what you just said, I'm personally guilty of that too. For a long time now, I think since about 2 years now, I have a space back of my house where I can actually use for farming. And I've been trying to motivate myself to just start that little farming thing, whatever. I've not been able to do that. And then if I left the place like that so I could family for 2 years, I've been struggling. I've not been able to do it. But I'm thinking that I want to task myself. And next year I should get it.
Yes, I'm going to ask you. So you have to be accountable for that.
Yes, and I want to say this before we start the program. The Nigeria is a design program that is built to fail as a system. It is like computer programming. You program a program that you go about a program to direct it to give a certain result. You have a result in mind
for what your program, programming
so for. That is what we're seeing in Nigeria. Because look at agriculture, for example. Now we've had additional as Minister of Agriculture. The same guy doing wonder in AFDB, whatever. All over Africa. He's going for second time now. Okay, I think okay, could do well. Doing that great guy. He was once the Minister of Agriculture in Nigeria. Yet it didn't work. Why? Because the system, the programming of Nigerian system is designed to fail. It's an intentional thing. It is an intentional thing. Because it is in that disorder that the predators that they are
trying to feed.
That way they make it just like NNPCL. NNPCL has been running on hide and seek. They are not clear, they are not open, they are not transparent, they are not accountable. And that is in that codedness, that is how those in charge milk the nation. So it's a design. It was like that. So a video of Abiola 93 saying that you open next of NNPC or NNPC, you will open it up. So Nigeria is where we are today. So we are hungry today, not because we don't have the potential to feed and even export food, but because Nigeria is a design system to fail.
You even put it nicely. You said Nigeria is designed to fail. But for Dr. Andrew, he said because we are lazy. And if we remember, President Buhari actually said Nigerian youth are lazy.
The truth is, sometimes that can be programming so they can justify what they're saying.
Right. Okay, anyways, we can't take any more. I will have a lot of things to talk about, but our time is already fast spent. But of course, I hope the federal government, the local government, the state government are listening and they're doing what is right. Of course, tomorrow we'll still continue talking about the state and affairs of the country. Thank you so much, Chris, for coming.
Always beautiful being here.
Thank you so much. And